You know the sound. It's the sound of a crowded holiday dinner table going completely silent. Your child has just thrown the roll or screamed, "I hate this," or refused to hug Aunt Linda. And I had an Aunt Linda. Suddenly, laughter stops, forks go down, and every single pair of eyes is looking right at you. And the heat starts rising on the back of your neck. Well, that's the most dangerous feeling of parenting, because in that split second, you stop being a father, you stop being a mother, you become a performer. And what do you do? Welcome back to the Rewired Parent. I am Dr. David, and we are deep into week 3 of this month of December. And travel has started, relatives are here, and today we're going to talk about the audience effect. And we're talking about why you turn into maybe a different parent when people are watching, and how to stop doing it before you burn your relationship with your child. Just to save face with your in-laws. So let's go ahead and rewire the response. So first, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about the stare. Okay, so let's get nerdy for a second. Let's talk about the social psychology of it all, right? There's this concept called social facilitation, or the audience effect. And it basically says that when humans feel they're being watched, observed, maybe even judged, evaluated, our performance changes. If we are confident, we might want to show off a little bit. If we are anxious, then we might crumble, fall in. So when your neurodivergent child melts down in private, it's pretty simple. You usually know what to do. You're the shelter. So what do? You usually co-regulate. You use your low and slow voice. But what happens when the audience is watching? Well, your brain detects a threat, and your brain says, social rejection imminent. Social rejection imminent. Prove you're a good parent. Prove you're a good parent now. So what do? We might panic. We get louder. We get stricter. We hiss things like, "You stop that right now," or "No, Santa, he's not coming." At that moment, we aren't parenting the child anymore. We are actually managing a PR crisis, and we are sacrificing our child's safety to protect our own image and reputation. Now, I know it sounds harsh, but I say it only because I've been there. I've done it. And I've unfortunately thrown my kids under the bus more than once to avoid that judgmental look from a stranger in Walmart or wherever you're at. But this week, we're going to stop that. And we're going to talk about the impossible choice. So here's the mantra I want you to write on your hand this week, or put it in a slip of paper, or put on your phone notes, whatever it needs to be. You're going to put this: I can be a good parent for the audience, or I can be a safe parent for my child. I cannot be both. Let me say that again. I can be a quote unquote good parent for the audience, or I can be a safe parent for my child, but I cannot be both. Why? Because the audience wants compliance. They want the quiet kid who says thank you and sits still. So to be that good parent, quote unquote, in their eyes, you're going to have to force compliance. But what does your child want? Your child wants safety, because they're going to get dysregulated and their nervous system is going to be on red alert. And to be that safe parent, you're going to have to offer connection, not force. If you choose the audience, you lose the child. Let me say it again. If you choose the audience, you lose the child. And if you lose the child, then the connection has been disrupted. Safety has been shown not to exist. But if you choose the child, what might you lose? The audience. They might think that you're too permissive. Oh, it's this gentle parenting crap. They think you're soft and you need to just be more firm and more strict and use your mean voice. If they start thinking that, or what they might be thinking, as Mel Robbins says, let them. Just let them. They're going to get upset, but Aunt Linda probably isn't going to necessarily be there in the later years, but hopefully your child is. So we're looking and prioritizing the long game. Now, in my post this week on social media, you saw that I talked about 3 ways to quote unquote dismiss the audience. So how do we actually do this when the pressure is on? How do we ignore or dismiss the eyes that are burning the hole in their head? Okay. So let me give you a few strategies I've mentioned. I'm going to reframe them a little bit differently, give you some different ways to look at it, but it's basically the same 3. The first is called the body block. And when your child starts to spiral, you're going to physically put your body between them and the space or the room or the audience. Okay. So you're going to block with your body. And you're going to, in that moment, create or enhance the environment, one of the 6 E's of the Rewire the Response framework, by creating a microenvironment. And what you're going to tell your child by that action is, it's just us. We don't care about them right now. We're not going to make a big deal about what they're saying. And then we're also going to tell the room what? Show's over, folks. Look away. There's nothing to see here. So that's the body block. Second thing is you can narrate the nervous system. So the audience judges because they think that the behavior is naughty, it's bad, but we need to reframe it, as we've said on this show many times, as a biological response to stress. Don't apologize, please. Explain and say it loud enough for the table to hear to your child, but they're hearing this interaction, right? They're witnessing this. Buddy, I can see your body is just pooped. It's out of gas and it's way too loud in here for your brain. So how about we go and take a break where it's quiet? Boom. You've just educated the room and validated your child in one sentence. Now, again, we're not playing to the audience, but what does the audience need? If they're judging and they don't understand, they need understanding. They need to have some empathy shown. They need to understand that, again, this isn't bad parenting. This isn't a naughty child. It's probably been a long day. If they're neurodivergent with autism, ADHD, I mean, it's just a lot, sensory processing differences, whatever it is, it's a lot on them. Because I know that because it's a lot on me and I'm an adult with ADHD. So their little nervous systems aren't going to be able to handle as much as ours. And it's our responsibility as the adults, as the parents, to keep that in mind. Third strategy is the trigger detective mindset. And so instead of the main question in your mind being, I wonder what they're thinking about me right now, or I wonder what they think of me right now, we're going to switch our brain to, why is this happening? Remember, we're detectives. We get curious. What is it? Maybe it's they've been wearing this scratchy sweater all day and it's just, they're done. Maybe it's the hunger because it's taken so long to get dinner on the table. Maybe it's the loud volume in the house. All those things I get because they get me and they have gotten my kids too. So when you go into this detective mode, what's going to happen is you're going to stop caring so much about the audience because you're going to be too busy trying to figure out how to co-regulate and soothe their nervous system in that moment. I know what today is. Today is the 17th. I know for some, the holidays just started yesterday. For some, they're still to come. But listen, it's going to get messy and you're probably going to feel a lot of judgment. Maybe not. Maybe you have that neuro-affirming family that when you get around, everybody's just there supporting you. Oh, if that's you, then awesome. But not everyone's going to have that experience. So remember, though, you are the expert on your child. Okay, not your mom, not your sister, you. And so if you want to be that detective I just mentioned, I'm going to give you some help. What am I looking for, you say, at the meltdown at the table? Well, I can help you with that and help you know exactly why it's happening so you can close out the audience with neuro-affirming understanding and empathy. And so it's the trigger decoder checklist. It doesn't just work for the holidays, but we're probably going to need it for the holidays, right? And what it is this simple PDF investigation tool to help you spot maybe it's a sensory, maybe it's biological, emotional, relational. It kind of gives you 4 categories there that you can look at and say, here's what's going on. So, here's how I can best support my child's regulation through co-regulation so that, again, they're feeling seen, safe, and supported through our connection, compassion, and co-regulation. So you don't have to guess, you don't have to perform, just a code. So go to the show notes here, check my show notes in here on this podcast. You can go to the website, which is drdavidapalmer.com/trigger. You can put decoder in for my Instagram or Facebook, or just DM me on TikTok, whatever it is. Maybe you're watching this on YouTube. So now I got the YouTube channel up and running. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe and share. Could use that. But what we're going to do this holiday season is this: we're going to fire the audience. And we're going to do that by being the shelter, being the calm, and allowing these times to be positive experience for our children instead of the negative ones that might happen if we give in to the judgment and forget what we know about rewiring the response. So, rewired parent, have a great holiday season. I'll probably throw up one more post before the new year. We have some amazing things in store for you after the first of the year. We have the Response Live Lab that'll be kicking off. I have recorded some amazing guests for this podcast. So we're going to look in January, kind of the post-holiday shame and guilt that we often feel as parents. So I have 2 amazing guests recorded that you're going to not want to miss. So if I don't see you or you don't hear from me until then, have a great holiday season. If you don't celebrate the holidays, that's great because that gives you less stress. And whatever the case, I just pray and hope for your families the best as we close out 2025 and look forward to 2026. So until then, be safe and keep rewiring.